Hey everybody, Tom Darling here. It's getting a little chilly this time of year. And you know, a lot of people like to go hunting this time of year because of the temperature and the weather. And it's a great time for, elk and deer and all kinds of great things to come out, out of the shadows so that we can actually go hunting. I want to talk about something today, an approach to getting stuff done that's kind of contrary to, the way we think when we're like hunting for something. We want to get something accomplished. We want to try something. We want to test out a new idea, or we want to, create a new project or do something at work. Conventional wisdom says that if you're going to shoot at something, you need to pick up the gun, you get it ready, and you aim, and then you fire. Well, I want to challenge that for a moment when it comes to trying to create something new. A lot of times when we're creating something new, we go through the standard process, and it is very much a ready, aim, fire approach. What we do is we get together with some folks and we think about this idea that we have. Maybe it's an idea for a new program at work, or maybe it's an idea for a new business, or it's an idea for a new project. And what we do is we immediately sit down and we kind of start coming up with a plan. And I'm a planner. There's no doubt about it. I got an architecture degree, and I was a project manager for a long time, and I love to plan things. Planning ensures that, what do they say? Those who fail to plan to fail. However, when it comes to planning, we have to make sure we're careful, especially when we're testing out something new. Because sometimes we can plan ourselves right into extinction. I've been on a lot of teams in some of my organizations that I've worked at and work with, where we sit down and we start planning, and we spend a year planning. We write proposals, detailed proposals. We write business plans and proposals and prospectus, trying to look, and then we go do immense amount of research in other cities and other places to find out what they've done and what best practices have worked. And all that is great. However, sometimes we spend so much time at 30,000 feet that we forget to get down on the ground and to even test and see, if what we're shooting at is really in those bushes. So the approach I want to talk about today is the ready, fire, aim approach when it comes to testing a new idea. I know it doesn't make any sense on the surface, but ready, fire, aim. What that means is I've got to actually get my stuff together, and I decide what it is I want to test, and then I go validate it, right? If I want to, maybe I want to create a new project at work, so I go start talking to people about the problem I want to solve and asking questions. And as I ask questions, they reveal things to me that kind of help me figure out if my problem is really the problem I want to solve. So now that I have an idea, and if people validate that, yeah, that's really a problem, and we'd love for a solution to that, before I sit down and write a 40-page proposal to take to city council, or to take to our board of directors, or to take to the bank for financing, I better make sure that the idea that I have actually has some merit and actually can produce some results. One of the biggest things we do is we write these proposals and we put all these things together, and we never actually physically test our idea. So ready, fire, aim means is that, yes, I get my idea together, but before I really focus on aiming and writing that proposal, I actually need to pop off a few rounds into the bushes and see if the animals that I'm looking for are even out there. And of course, to keep the analogy going, I won't use my rifle. I'll use a pellet gun to make some noise and see if I can create some movement. What that means is I take my idea and I come up with a little experiment. And then I actually go take a little experiment and I use it with real people to get some real feedback. And as I'm testing and getting real feedback, if it fails, fantastic. Then it fails before I've got a 40-page report and, I don't know, $100,000 worth of grant funding that now I got to figure out how to, give back or how to use. I want to be able to test my idea on a small scale. And some of the best research that you can gather is not what you go out and get from other organizations or other cities. It's what you can get from real customers before they're your customers. People that actually mess with your idea, play with it a little bit, test it out, and see if their kid likes it, or see if it works for them, or see if it solves a problem. And we spend the least amount of money possible on it. It's called the minimum viable product, right? How can I create some type of prototype or simple experiment that doesn't cost anything for people to test before I actually invest a bunch of money and time in trying to convince the world, to adopt or to fund or to buy this big product? I got to test it first. Sometimes we have to fire a pellet gun into those bushes and see if there's any animals actually out there worth shooting at before we sit there all day waiting for something to come out. It's called ready, fire, aim. Being willing to make small experiments along the way. A lot of what you'll find is the quality of your final project, the quality of your final idea, the thing you actually put together to go ask or to go propose, now has some data and some research behind it that validates that it actually works with a group of people. And it doesn't cost anything, but it almost ensures that the people you're trying to convince to invest or to buy or to participate in your solution will do it because there's proof from real people, and you've validated it. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to take a test. Don't be afraid to try. And don't be afraid to abandon an idea if nobody likes it. It's okay, because that's what keeps us fresh and keeps us moving. Ready, fire, aim.